Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage.
Here at the Recycle Garage.
In sunny Santa Cruz, California. Do your burr, 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 burr. There it is. Hey, we've got a rowdy group tonight. This is going to be a fun show. I was looking forward to this. Hey everyone, this is Liza, and I ain't got nothing but no chicken bone. I still think my bike was cursed, man.
Which one? Oh, you that chicken bone you do.
Yeah, that's
were
freaky.
fucked straight up cursed.
That's a voodoo
you better
bike.
dance around with some white sage and two-stroke oil.
In the KLR under the air filter, like a big chicken bone.
Well, what happened prior to that?
How did it get there?
She was T-boned.
I ruined a wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a long story. Let's get to who is here with me in the studio today, sitting closer to me. Oh, you know, there's a reason why he doesn't sit this close, because he's in striking distance. Yes.
He's in striking distance already, don't you? I got my phone up in defensive posture.
Just a reminder.
That would be the dulcet tones of Naked Jim.
Yes, feral as fuck. Yeah. Great to be here. Very excited.
Did he say hairless?
I was telling them about...
I've seen you naked, bud.
I know.
I was telling them about when you sat on me naked and I flung the Packer at you and it was lost in a motorcycle engine for weeks.
That was a great quick story. For some stupid reason, Liza was sitting on the couch in the garage. I took off all my clothes and jumped on her backwards and pinned her to the couch, which I knew she would hate. Yeah, she was straight. I was surprised you couldn't strike, but I had you good. But then I had a tiger by the tail. As I jumped up and fled, she pursued me with a soft penis. What are those called? The stuffers?
Packers.
The Packers. Yeah, she hurled a Packer with great velocity.
It was the closest thing in reach.
Past my head, made a cracking sound, and then disappeared. We had no idea where it went.
And it
Later that day,
showed up in her airbox.
Later that day, the Packer was found in between. Was it your KLR?
I don't know. It was
wedged in between a radiator somewhere.
A long time.
Next to a chicken bone.
Lived to see another day. Yeah.
Oh, the good old days, huh?
How you doing?
Running the
or
board.
chow, I should say.
Running the board tonight, it's Stumpy John.
Hola a todos los cabrones ahí en los Estados Unidos.
Yeah, unity.
Jose.
What?
Isn't that what the minions always say?
That's true. I'm a
Yeah, I think so.
cabra.
Did you just go on strike?
Chupacabra.
I don't know what happened.
I did. I'm protesting grapes.
Okay.
Even the cotton candy grape.
Like that means
Any
something.
kind of grape. Anti-grapes, man.
Candy
No grapes,
grape?
everybody. No
Is
grapes.
that because you're a grape smuggler?
I am. I smuggle them. I can't tell you where I smuggle them.
Grape smuggler.
Yeah, I know.
I keister my grapes.
Okay, everyone, calm down, because this next introduction is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you all know.
Record setting.
Oh my God.
This is a big deal.
We can't wait.
World
This is
famous.
a big deal.
World famous.
Our most listened to episode ever, bigger than Wayne Rainey, bigger than Norman Reedus,
Wow.
bigger than Eric Buell, all of those. None other than Carla King.
Yay. In
The reigning champion is
I'm
back.
so surprised to hear that. I'm
She's
really
like,
proud.
really?
I'm like, wait, what did I say last time? What did I say?
Oh,
I don't know. We
all
have
the good
big
stuff.
expectations this time, though.
I
I'll
don't
tell you
know.
what.
I don't know.
You're a lovely human
Always
being.
fun to be here. Always fun to be here.
So, also joining her on the couch
And
for
I
the
brought
first
a
time.
friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
joining us, fellow podcaster.
Yes.
It's Kim Ayers.
It is Kim Ayers of the Sex Chat with Kim Ayers podcast.
Ooh.
So that's a big hint as to what my specialty is, other than motorcycle riding, of course.
Well, and hopefully these two are going to come together.
It's always a good thing to do.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh my God, you already got me into that.
Yeah, it was a play on words. Right
I'm
there.
so
I
glad.
know. We all were looking at each other like, who's going to say it?
I'm just glad Liza was looking at Mike.
Don't
All
look
right.
away. Don't look
Baby
away.
steps.
Don't look away.
Don't look away.
Just don't say my name.
Don't look at me when I'm inside of you. Yeah.
Really?
And joining us for the second time now,
Yes, second time.
it is Kelly, who has one of the coolest named children.
KSSO.
Oh, my son Blaze.
There it is.
Yeah, he was here
There it
earlier
is.
today, but he had to go get back to Sacramento. He's got to work in the morning.
Does he ride like a flaming chopper?
No, CBR 600.
Oh.
No, but I asked him as a child, did he feel pressure to be fast on the playground?
I don't know.
That would be pressure, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Not pressured, supported. I mean, I was thought the support
There you go.
if you wanted to do a sport or something, I was support, but I wasn't like not push him into anything, but definitely support him in anything he wanted to.
I keep thinking he should be a quarterback, professional quarterback with the name Blaze. And number 12, Blaze, just driving it right through. Oh, yeah.
He was a receiver, wide receiver, and then rugby.
works.
He did good in rugby.
Well,
Like Eddie Murphy.
I just have one thing to say. Well played, sir. Well played.
Well done.
And one of the fan favorites coming back, it's Bagel.
Greetings and N+1.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Wait,
It says so.
who? Are you having
What?
a baby?
Did it come with a little monkey?
That's a baby.
I bought a little ET4 on
Or a
eBay.
parrot?
A little lemony scooter.
It has a bad front tire, so it needs some work. So I bought a parts bike to fix it up with. So it's my latest project.
That's like a Curious George scooter, isn't it? Isn't it like thinking this
Ooh.
book?
Barbie, actually.
Bagel.
Yes.
And I guess for everyone else to know, at Costco, they have the Vespa Lego sets for sale.
Oh, nice. Well, I've already got mine, but
Yes, so
good to
do
know.
I. Right over there in the
Yep.
corner. Oh,
Nice.
oh, I'm sorry. There's one more. I almost forgot. It's award-winning Mike.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Cruising hard.
Try not to break those headphones on your massively large head.
I know. I feel like a gorilla. I really do.
Oh, and he did.
Yeah, I taped them back together.
Is it Mikey 3 or 4 times now? How many awards?
3.
3.
And
Okay.
what are they for?
It's a hard 3.
He likes to win third place
My-
in bike shows.
I got second one
Oh,
time.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped out? Oh, wait. There was only 2 people entered?
No, that was fucking.
Why
what's
do you
his name's
got to be like
category.
that? Why do you have to be like that? To
No,
I'm
I-
not lying.
No,
Now I
that wasn't my
understand.
category. That was a Sportster category. It had nothing to do with me. That was Emma's boy.
Pick on
No,
Mike.
one of
with
your
2
third
bikes
place.
in it, and he won fucking second place. It wasn't me. There was like 15 bikes in mine. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike is here because he went on another amazing trip, and he was telling me on the phone about how awesome it was. And I said, hold on. Let's just talk about it on the podcast. But first, I need to get to some announcements. We have big announcements. December 3rd is happening. Our 500th episode party.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that? 500 episodes.
I might have to drive up to
500 episode party. It's happening on December 3rd. It's 12 to 6 at the Moto Talbot Museum in Carmel Valley. There's going to
Beautiful
be,
little hamlet.
There's going to be some surprise guests. Surprise,
Tacos.
because I don't know who they are yet. But we're working on some stuff. It's going to be a live podcast recording. It's going to be a Misfit reunion. How many Misfits do you think we actually have?
I mean,
Like
if it's like New
30,
York,
40?
I don't know. If it's like New York, your real close friends are the ones that'll fight for you no matter what. Your acquaintances are the people that you wouldn't fight for you. So I don't know how do you quantify that? In
Where do you
Misfits?
put Mean Megan?
Mean Megan? She's an OG.
Yeah, she would stab you.
Like,
with
if
a
she came back
screwdriver,
right
dude.
now,
I
she
would-
would
she's on my team.
If she came back right now, she'd probably step in, and
She
take
was-
a blade.
She would. She would.
Didn't you say we're gonna have a petting zoo too?
Well, are you offering up yourself?
Anybody can pet me if they want. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a party bagel. I'm really, really hoping that you were coming down for this.
Yes, I am planning to come down. I got the time off,
That
so
is
yes,
great.
I
I'm
will
going to
there.
be sending out invites to all of our guests, all the misfits. It's going to be a big, fun time. Anyone is welcome to come. The only catch is everybody has to buy a ticket to the event. The ticket pays for your admission to the museum, and that's how they're letting us use the museum. So it's $10 entrance. I think it's like $12 on Eventbrite. Motorcycles and Misfits. You can go to our Facebook page. I'll put a post on the website eventually. But make sure you get your tickets. All you guys get your tickets because I don't know, it might sell out. They told me that they have the fire marshal said you can only have 49 people. I'm like,
Yeah, they said it's limited capacity. I'm
think
sure
we're
it'll
gonna have
ebb
more
and
than
flow,
that.
but yeah. It'll be fun though. Yeah, taco truck. There'll be some sponsor people there.
Yeah.
It'll be a hoot. And I think it's more expensive to go on a normal day, like as their donation or whatever they take.
Yeah, it's $10.
Is it always 10?
Yeah. It's just it's a nonprofit, this museum, so we're just putting all the funds towards that. But we're gonna have drinks and food and stuff. Another announcement: Rev Sisters Moto Film Festival. It is October 28th is when it starts. Kim, if you didn't know, it's another hat I wear. I'm a Rev Sister. And we produce motorcycle film festivals. And this one is online, again, because it went online because of COVID. It is absolutely free for the first weekend of viewing. It's hosted on YouTube, but you still have to register to get your passes, get your access. If you want the 2-week viewing window, it is only $10 for a ticket. Got tons of films, and this year we got a whole bunch of international films. I've been watching French, Brazilian, from all over, and just like our podcast, it's all sorts. It's racing. I saw a really cool one on motocross sidecar racing. These guys,
fun.
Man,
What are they going to think of next?
I know, right?
I think I saw someone on Instagram about the film festival.
Yeah. Go to Rev.
It's always good. It's always fun.
RevSisters.com and register there. And then last one, this is pretty cool. Former guest of ours and personal friend, Aaron Sills. Have you guys seen the big news?
Aaron.
So Aaron Sills has 45 land speed records now, I think, and has a motorcycle in the Smithsonian.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
had the gala party this weekend and the opening of the exhibit. It's like speed, and it's like land and air. It's all this stuff. Like there's Aaron's motorcycle and tracksuit next to like Mario Andretti's car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
she's the fastest
amazing.
woman in the world, right?
It's what an honor
Yeah.
for her to be there. So I'm trying to plan a trip down to Washington, D.C. to go see this because that's pretty cool.
The honors don't get much higher than the Smithsonian. In this country or in the world?
She's been
My
on our
gosh.
show and in the Smithsonian.
Oh, we've had chili with her and her husband. So
Yeah. So go to the
Wonderful
if you're anywhere near Washington D.C., go to the Smithsonian, go see the new exhibit, and say you know about her from us. All right, Mike, are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
You have been living the high life, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Kat from Layout Escapes. Do you guys know Layout Escapes? You know Kat?
Kat.
Yeah. He's been coming on our show for years and talking about his trips, and we love promoting, a local and a friend. But we really didn't have any idea what he does or how well he does it until Mike went on one of his trips. And then this year, I don't know if you know, but he developed a Misfits in the Dolomites trip for our listeners that Emma went on.
Really?
Yeah.
How much fun is
And
that?
he scaled it down. It didn't involve a MotoGP track and the usual flair that he does. This one was more of a teaching trip on how to learn how to navigate on your own and get around, and but provided all the same perks that he does. And we had a huge success. Mm-hmm. But it also gave us insight that he's really good at what he does.
He is. He is. I've ridden with him. He's awesome.
He's really good at what he does.
And he knows how to pick the good places with the hot tubs and the view and the good food.
Well, see,
where did you go?
We just went up in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is why Mike was calling me an asshole a second ago.
Uh-oh.
Because he's got all these amazing photos of beautiful villages and cappuccinos and charcuterie. And I'm like, Mikey, I could give two shits about this kind of vacation photos.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest. This is not my brand of stuff. It looks great, but more so, I love hearing about Kat and the service that he offers and how well he does. So you went on another one of Kat's trips, and this one is called Corsica Dream.
Yeah.
But you had you were there for a reason. You weren't just going to be on the tour. You were working it.
Yeah, I was.
So this is it. It's just going to be the short answers.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're asking me questions. I'm answering.
So you
them.
did a trip before that.
Yeah, so you went on the first trip and you came back and said, this guy's actually really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And you had such a great time. Wait, that was earlier this year.
Yeah, it was like 6 weeks before it.
Yeah.
I got back. So, yeah, I went on the Corsica Dream, and I didn't be honest with you, I didn't really know anything about Corsica or Sardinia when I went beforehand, and I said, yeah, sure, Italy. It turns out, I suppose, the northern island's French and the southern one's Italian. There's like a whole long history about the whole thing. And yeah, and that was it. But like that wasn't only part of the ride. But yeah, I did a bunch of drone stuff for my own, because I like doing the video stuff. And he was so stoked on it, he asked me to come back so that he can use it for a promotional video for that tour.
That's great.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, sure,
So this tour, the Corsica Dream, so usually on his tours, it's like you get a really nice bike, really nice hotels, he takes you around, and then you end up on a track. Is that what this was too?
Yeah, yeah.
So where did you start?
We start out in Rome. Like the last trip I was on, we started out in Munich, and he usually picks a hotel that's pretty close to the rental because, when you're packing for like 10 days or 12 days, you kind of carrying stuff with you depending on the size of the group and if you're going to have a chase vehicle. This one did have a chase vehicle, which is a little bit nicer because then I could bring a little bit more stuff. I don't have to choose as much on the way. But in Rome, the motorcycle dealership was like, 5 minutes down the road. I would say the first thing that I would mention was like I'm fortunate enough to have gone like earlier.
Yeah.
So I went for like I don't know. I think I was there like 5 or 6 days early, and just around Rome, and I did a bunch of stuff. I went down to Naples, Pompeii, the Amalfi Coast, Positano, Capri, stuff like that. So, and then I came back up and I did all the Rome stuff, the Vatican, and all that. And it was very, very hot. It was in a heat wave or something. The Rome was insane. I don't know if you got anybody here who's ever been to Rome, but it's. And then having gone to like, I think I was in like 14 cities or something.
Yeah,
Like
the way you like rolled off those cities, like it's awesome that you're so comfortable with fucking Italy. I'm like, I've never even been there. Mike's like ringing off all these cities.
I mean, I just hit like the big names, right?
Dude.
Like everybody knows those names that I said, and that's all I knew. So I went to go check them out.
Yeah.
You had the family there for that time too?
No, they were there in the end.
Okay.
But like most of his tour kind of focuses on like from Rome up like north to Livorno, and then you hop on a ferry, and then it's kind of like Tuscany based, which is the northern part of Italy. So that's why when I was in Rome early, I was stoked that I could take a little bit of time and go check out the south a little bit on my own, without a tour or whatever. So that was pretty good. But again, realistically,
Squirrel.
Oh,
There's literally a squirrel behind you.
Carrying a nut too.
I think like what was one of the most interesting things about the trip for me was getting to compare the cities to one another, and also getting to have like this. I'm like 40, and I've heard and seen and known about Italy, and I have all these like ideas, and then you get there to kind of like put them against what's actually there, the people, the food, and the actual culture, like experiencing it. And then the cities, there are a lot of similarities, but then they're completely different to each other. And if I could say one thing about Rome, it was definitely like kind of Italian Disneyland a little bit.
Yep.
And not like in the way that there's like, I'm from New York, right? It's not like going to Brooklyn, during like an Italian, festival or something. It was like things you've seen on posters and movies and stuff. And then you're there, like kind of like Hollywood. And it was kind of like that, right?
Yeah, it's totally like that.
Yeah, it's a lived-in city where people are doing. There's like politics and businesses. But while I was there, I felt like kind of okay. So there's tourists everywhere. I don't have to feel uncomfortable about being a tourist because I'm with my people here, right? Like it was like a tourist town. Mm-hmm. So everywhere you go, everything's catered towards the tourists, even though there is businesses and residents and this that. That was very much the vibe I got. It was completely different than,
Did you like
Parma.
it or not?
I loved it.
Yeah, okay.
I loved it. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Being on the East Coast, where I'm from, we'll have like some historical stuff, right? Like some like colonial times things and Civil War stuff, and here we have West like cowboy shit and stuff like that.
We have things like this is the first 7-Eleven east of the Mississippi.
Yeah,
that's
You know
old
what I'm saying?
buildings
We've got
for
like
us,
Victorian
you know?
buildings, right?
Yeah,
And
they were like wrestling lions and things.
Well, it's it's really
2,000
pretty
years
here to
ago.
see like the contrast of new and old, but it kind of still blends like relatively normal. But the difference there is that like this is straight up 2,000 years old, and then you're sitting in a cafe like literally right next to it, looking at this. And then I definitely had a lot of these feelings of like, this is insane. Like there's been commerce right here where I'm sitting for like what do you centuries?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Like it's been functioning, and then also like getting to see the technology and the just how well crafted and beautiful things were was really it was just kind of a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's the okay? What's the difference between two? Let's see. I'm screwing this up here. All right, is okay. What's the difference between 200 miles and 200 years old? Okay, an American thinks 200 years old is old, and a European thinks 200 miles is far.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Did you drive in Italy, or were you on
I
bikes?
did.
Or what?
No, I drove. I was on motorcycles. Like when I was in Rome.
What'd you guys ride? What were you riding?
Hold on.
What were you riding?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. He did drive. You have to tell the story.
Oh, I told you about
The
that.
bridge.
Oh wait, I'll get to that. Let me get to that because
apparently you can get yourself into trouble
She's gonna
on
tell it
tiny
anyway.
roads. Just saying.
Oh,
It might
it's
did.
fucked up. It's fucked
It
up.
is.
But anyway, so we were in Rome, and it was definitely an experience. I think that everybody should go and see, and the Vatican, see the Sistine Chapel, the creation. There's just so much.
Did you hear about that American tourist this week there? Seriously? Not a
Where?
joke.
What happened?
He went to the Vatican, insisted on seeing the Pope, and when they wouldn't let him in, he smashed ancient statues.
Oh, jeez. No.
Yeah.
Well, Pope
Wait.
should have seen him apparently.
Yeah.
See,
American?
so
American.
that's another thing that
Yeah,
you see there is that you see like the generations of decay and also like war, and then there's like a lot of looting right at different times, and it's really kind of interesting to see. And then at some point like things were preserved, right? Like I remember seeing the Colosseum and thinking to myself like, wait, it looks like Swiss cheese. Like it was weird. I wanted to know like why was there these little pock marks and holes everywhere. And I did like a private tour of the Vatican and the Colosseum because I just didn't want to deal with all the crowds and stuff. And it turns out that there was like metal pieces that held all the blocks together. They tell you about the construction, and at some period of time, that like people would just go in literally for the metal. And then if you look at it, when you see some better preserved buildings in Italy, like Pisa is just a building, right?
Yeah.
It's like a what are they? Do you remember what are they called? The towers?
The Leaning Tower.
No, but what is a tower called? It's like a
Torre?
where they do. There's like the way buildings are set up there in churches. They'll have like the chapel, and then there's like a dome where baptisms happen, and then there's like a something, and then they all have these like towers next to them. The Pisa was one of those, but the craziest thing about it is it's literally exactly as it was, meaning that it was completely sheathed in like sheets of marble. And then you go and see the ancient buildings that are like the Colosseum and some of the old
Like the Forum.
the Forum. That's right. Yeah, and you see the original construction, which is brick, and you're just like, holy shit, this looks like a house in Brooklyn. Like it's straight up brickwork.
All right, we need to get some motorcycles.
Well, I'm going to
in
get
here.
to it. I'm just saying, like, but all these things were once. It's
What is
really,
this? The
Motor
Cleveland
Goods.
Moto
No,
podcast?
no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you go in the middle of the Coliseum like Gladiator?
I didn't
and,
go
like,
down
picture,
in the bottom,
if
but I
you were a
was
gladiator?
like where the emperor comes out.
Because you'd
or
be a
whatever.
boss gladiator.
But I just want to just let me finish. It's all these things at one time were completely covered in like finished marble and like frescoes with statues and gold. So it's like to see it where it is. It's almost crazy to see it as is, but you couldn't even imagine how decorative everything was and creative. And then you fast forward and you're staying in a hotel in Italy, and you're like, what happened to the quality of Italians?
Right.
And what's going on here? Like shit's
Motel
just
6.
falling apart. Yeah, like it's just it's pretty crazy.
All right, I want to talk about motorcycles because you got to choose an interesting motorcycle for this
I
trip.
didn't get to choose.
Okay, well, you got a cool motorcycle. So
Yeah.
normally, He's putting people on like S1000RRs and stuff like that, right? It's a sporty bike, something.
Well, no, you get GSs, you get lots of different kind of options.
But they're
a lot of people want to do adventure.
high-end performance bikes.
Yeah.
You got...
I got a Ducati 2022 Desert X.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is that the adventure bike with the 2-round headlights?
That's
way.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like an
Oh, get
Africa
out.
twin.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
gorgeous.
Oh,
bike.
that's
Off road
fishing.
or curb hopping?
Curb hopping.
Yeah.
Curb hopping.
That's not what you rode on the track, was it?
No, I had a Panigale V2.
Oh, my
Which
God.
was like I felt like
Wow.
I felt like
these
a
are
giant
dream
on that
trips.
bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
What did you
That's
think
cool.
of the Desert Sled?
I thought it was fantastic.
Or Desert X, right?
Desert X. So
Yeah, Desert
What
X.
is
for
comfy?
me, I usually never have an inseam issue with stuff. Like I just don't. Like I'm having. But I will say about that one, the only thing is the seat is just wide enough to put your legs out.
Yeah.
So like I was like on my tippy toes often, even with the compressing of the suspension. So it was kind of crazy. And then I had a broken hand with a cast.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
being on tippy toes when the bike would be kind of leaning one way, it was kind of difficult for me to. I'd have to really correct things because I only had a couple of fingers to work with.
Can we talk for a second about how you broke your hand again at the track?
Yeah.
And modified your cast so that you could go on this
Let's
ride.
talk about that. I really
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of it too. So anyway, I was at Laguna Seca like a week or so before, and like I like to kind of prep a little bit at the racetrack for like the MotoGP track we're going to, and I did excellent. I was there for a full day, and I had an amazing time. Like literally, like my times were really good on the track. And the second to last session, I grabbed my 1000. And I wanted to just rip around on it. And I wasn't, well, I'm going to lie. I was going to say I wasn't pushing it, but, and it was crazy because I was able to get like, literally, it would just steal 15 seconds off of each lap with this down. You just give it power in the straights and you just fucking get your time back, But,
How fast were
That's
you
what
in
Kim
the
was doing
straightaway?
today.
at Laguna?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was over 100 for
Okay.
sure. But I mean, like, there's a thing at Laguna with turn one where you get kind of scared.
Yeah, because you can't
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and it's like it really. I think the faster you go is based on like how much balls you got to like keep holding on.
How many laps have you
You
done
know.
there? Yeah.
But anyway,
So you're cast.
I crashed at turn 11. It was like right before the straightaway
On the 1,000?
on the
You crashed?
1000. Yeah, and so I was going like 15. My shifter got stuck and I couldn't do whatever, and I just like the bike just slid out under me. I came off the race line. And I went to brake and I let off the gas at the same time and the whole front just compressed really quick and it was like kind of loose. So like I didn't even know what happened. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just dirt bike straight off and then come wait off the track. No problem. As soon as I kind of just slightly hit any kind of like braking, the bike just washed. And I went like Superman. I got a video of it. My iPad where I'm like flying like fat Superman with this fucking Power Ranger suit, and I landed right on my thumb, and I think my thumb just like flipped all the way back, and then just like, it was like it snapped off almost, or it did, and then so like, and I remember like standing up and being like, oh, that's crunchy, that's pretty crunchy. Like I'm pretty sure it's broken, so they get it wrapped up, and then I go and get whatever. I'll show you guys. You want to see the pins?
Did you jack the bike up?
No. I wanna
Well,
know-
let's scratch a little
How
bit.
did, so how, wait, how did
the
you?
shifter? I'm like, what happened with the shifter?
There's like a clutch issue where I couldn't shift. I couldn't shift. I couldn't downshift. So I was coming into the turn trying to drop to first or second, and then take. It's like a really tight, slow turn. But like I'm kicking down because I'm coming in at like believing it's going to happen. So I come in and I want to quick shift. Boom, boom. And then set up for the turn, but I kick and I'm like, boom, boom, it's not working. You can see in the video, and I'm like, oh shit, boom, boom, it's not working. And I'm like, it's not shifting out. So I'm gliding in neutral fast that I have. So I got to brake quickly.
What
before
turn
the
was
turn.
it?
Turn 11, right before the straightaway. That's
That's the
pins.
bottom of the
So they had
corkscrew.
like pins in my hand or whatever.
So this.
So were you? Can I just ask?
Yeah, 'cause you are
I gotta,
carrying speed
like,
into
did
that.
you tuck and roll? I mean, did the
And I like kind of jumped Superman
Yeah,
like this,
sure.
and when I landed on my hand, I kind of rolled over it once, and that was it.
and the leathers protected.
Everything was fine. I had
completely.
an airbag on.
Oh,
It
yeah?
popped off, and everything was
Wow.
good. It was just my thumb. So anyway, I go back and they throw some ice on it, and he's like, "Oh, you'll be all right."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Dude, it's crunching." I'm pretty sure, whatever. So
Take 2 Tylenol. You'll be
and I
fine.
broke my wrist right before the Czech trip, and so but I got the
Yeah.
cast off right before. Like I got the cast off on a Friday, and then I was at Laguna Seca on Monday to try to test my wrist out and see if it would be good for Czech Republic. And it was okay enough to ride. So that Wednesday I went to the Czech, and that's when I did that tour. And then, but this time I broke it and I had to wear a cast the whole time on this one.
So how does one modify a cast so you can still ride?
So like I was hoping they would tell me they would pull the pins out before I went, and because somebody was like, yeah, they might pull them out, and I'd be like, oh, that'd be great. Turns out I'm really glad they didn't, because it kept all my bones together. But the first one had my thumb kind of slightly out like this, and I went to try to ride around on my mini bike and around my property.
And this is your left hand.
Left hand, yeah.
So this is your
my
clutch.
shift, yeah, clutch, and
We're all wiggling our left hands. Now.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
Yeah. I
yeah,
have
but
to
you
read
don't
on my
use your
hand
thumb,
what
but
you're
your thumb
supposed to
locks your
do.
hand in, especially if you have a lot of
Yep.
pressure
True.
on the clutch. So
Yep.
I went back in to the doctor. Like I think I left again in the middle of the week, and I went in on a Monday, and I said, "Look, you gotta cut it off." And he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was
Cut off
like,
the thumb?
"No, yeah." I said, "You gotta take the cast off," and he's like, "Oh, what's the problem?" And I was like, "Oh," I said, "My hand shrunk and it's moving around a lot." I just bullshitted him, but then when he put it on, I pulled out a grip.
Sounds
Nice.
Like
No.
Jocelyn Snow
Yeah, I
did.
pulled it out and I pulled
That's
the grip
awesome.
out, and I was like, "Can you just kind of
That's
work it around
motorcycle
a little
shit.
bit?" And he kept putting my thumb out, so I kept like when he'd like turn, I'd like push it back like this while I was
Around
setting, and
the
then
grip,
he'd come back
yeah.
and like kind of come and adjust it, and I would like push it back, and then eventually it set like kind of the way I wanted it to, so that it would be
my
good.
God.
So
Oh my gosh.
and then that
So
happened.
basically,
Wow.
your cast was on the handlebar, and then your fingers
my palm.
were free.
It was my palm, and my thumb would stay up like this, and then I could shift like
I
that.
see.
And then I went to So Maria, and I had him take one of my built gloves and modify it.
This is funny.
Like
You
a,
did not.
yes.
Did you really?
He had
Wow.
his glove from a seamstress enlarged to
Get
fit
out.
over
Like
his
they-
hand.
like they
Off
cut
of
it
the
open?
cast.
they split the
Yeah.
glove right here, and then
in
put
between
extra
your thumb
materials.
and your forefinger.
Yeah.
and a
The
zipper on it, and it looked like a
Awesome.
claw.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
called the Franken glove because it had this huge zipper and extra material right here to go around like the thumb of the cast and shit.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow.
And I knew if I didn't do that, they wouldn't have let me ride at Magello, or they might not have caught it. You know what I mean? And they would have been like,
Paint
"Oh,
your
he must."
fingers black.
If they just saw like this massive, like kind of weird glove hand thing, they might think that I was like retarded or I had like a fucking,
It's like a Jackie
handicap.
Chan.
And they like, don't say anything, just let him ride. You know?
when Jackie Chan had a broken foot and
Yeah.
he painted a shoe onto his cast.
It was a Nike,
No.
Yes.
a Nike swoosh
Yeah, yeah.
was on the side of his cast.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, what we do
Yeah.
for love.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but it
That's
worked,
awesome,
and-
dude.
so you're
It kind of worked, and both the bikes I used had quick shift, so I didn't really
that
have
helps.
to shift that much. So, but it was good.
I haven't used that yet
It's good.
because I don't race. I'm
Yeah.
a slow rider.
I don't race either, but
so
The
now,
Ducati had a quick shifter?
yeah,
No shit. Huh,
the
Desert
fucking
Storm.
Ducati was
Technology.
that thing was tiny under me.
So let's talk about the kind of roads. I mean, we know that. All right, Italy. You said it's beautiful, and you were showing me a lot of drone shots, and there's water and
Gelato.
cappuccinos and gelato
Charcuterie.
and great food. So we know great food, and it's a beautiful place. And is it somewhat affordable?
Yeah, so I mean, like I think like if I spent a month in Hawaii, I would have probably spent like 2 or 3 times as much money.
Okay.
You know, the ticket is probably a couple $100 more to get to Italy. But I mean, I with my family had full course meals. Like at one point I had like Wagyu beef or whatever. What is that?
Yeah,
shit? You had
Wagyu.
to pick it out. They show you with the Chinese writing and shit all over it where it came from. But yeah, I mean the food was super affordable. The hotels were.
I hope he didn't eat Chinese wagyu.
Yeah, I hope not.
Oh no, you don't Japanese. Whatever the fuck.
I was gonna say if they show it on the menu, it's gonna be in Chinese.
get it on-
You're like, yeah, I'll take
Very
it.
good from China.
Now I know why it's
It
cheap.
said,
in Italy.
it said made in China.
They sell it in Alibaba. You can get a good deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But,
Okay.
but I mean, the roads were really good. It was, if I could sum the whole tour up, I would say that it is for people who are very passionate kind of canyon drivers, right?
So what you were describing to me is like people come from all over our country to go to ride the tail of the dragon, right? And you were like, it's just like that every day, right?
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
All
Are you
day.
talking about the Dolomites?
Well, I did the Dolomites during the Czech trip. This was just like the
Corsica.
southwest or the southwest coast of Italy, from the midway up Rome all the way up to Livorno, and then do you want me to just tell you the route real quick?
Yeah.
So we do Rome to Livorno. We hop on a ferry with our bikes, which is kind of interesting. It was cool. we go to Corsica, and we do the entire northern part of Corsica, and we just kind of ride all around the west side, which is beautiful. It's kind of like the PCH, but its own version of it, and just stunning Mediterranean water, like crystal clear everywhere. I mean, it really. I don't think Americans are going to Corsica to go vacation, or they might not know about it. And like everybody over there is probably like, oh, like instead of going to Hawaii and all that shit we do here, they go to Corsica because it's beautiful. I mean, it's stunning. And then we ride all that, and we go down to the end of. We stay at this place called Ferriola. They serve us wild boar, and they also have their own wine. Like everywhere we went had their own wine, which is kind of cool.
Isn't that great?
All right, I have a question. How many people were in the group, the tour group?
Like 12 or maybe 13.
12. And what was the riding ability? Was this a pretty quick-paced ride?
Well, I was not the youngest person there. There was another guy, Nikita, who is like 34. And then everybody else was like kind of retiring age. There was one couple, and they're all pretty good. But I mean, you know, some rode a little bit more conservative than others, but everybody was able to kind of keep up at the end.
And is this a ride at your own pace and we'll meet you at the end of the road, or is this a stay with the group?
I think it's kind of organic. You know, the faster people will stay up in the front, and then they wind up waiting, getting longer breaks. The people in the back are just kind of sightseeing. So kind of one of those.
What was the fast bike you were on? What was the desert sled
Bengali.
one? The Panigale.
Yeah.
Did you ride that around?
No,
like,
only on the track.
Oh, okay. So you had
Dang.
the other one the whole rest of the time?
Yeah.
So did you find that the Desert X was able to keep up
excellent.
with all the big bikes?
Yeah, you can adjust a bunch of stuff as you're going, you know,
That's
for
cool.
different conditions.
Because it's got the big front wheel, 21-inch front wheel.
Yeah, I mean, it was just comfortable. The seat was big. You know, I was able to stand up on it, which was good. I didn't really have any bags with me, so that was kind of good. I didn't have to deal with that. And I was ripping around. Like, everybody was like, dude, I can't believe what you're doing with a cast.
So you can flick it real easy, and it
It's very flickable. Yeah.
No, it's a 937cc V-twin.
V-twin, so it's got a
Nice.
narrow profile, huh?
Yeah, except for the seat. But I was,
Well, it's comfy, I bet.
Yeah, it was comfortable when you're riding, but standing somewhere.
Oh, really?
Like, I almost fell over one time, and that, like, never happens. Like, literally, I got my tippy toes and, like, turned it wrong way, and it started to go, and I'm glad it fell on the right side because I wouldn't have caught it with my left.
See, welcome to my world. This is my
Yeah,
life.
I know.
It's an adventure bike. You can drop it.
So I have a question for you. When we do the trips in Pakistan, there's a thing we call Moin magic. Moin just makes things appear or makes things happen. I'm curious, what are some of the things that Cat does to make these trips extra special?
I think that's all kind of pre-planned, right? Like there's not too much impromptu stuff, and
But what are you getting on the tour you wouldn't get if you just went over yourself and rented a bike?
I mean, you're getting to see places you'd probably never see, like Corsica as an American.
Yeah.
Like if you go to
Or
Italy,
Sardinia.
you're gonna go to Rome. Yeah, you're gonna go to Rome. You're gonna go to you're gonna go to Pompeii. You're gonna go to up in Tuscany, right? But these are like you're going to all these crazy spots in between. I think what's really interesting about it is definitely being there for a month, like straight up 30 days and seeing everything and being different places. On the trip, there was a lot more like kind of authentic places that we would go to and, kind of not off the beaten path, but like actual local spots, including the hotels. Right?
So he's found the best roads for riding, and then he's found the like quaint little cute places to make it really nice.
Yeah.
What do you like to eat? I mean, being there for that long, what are some of your favorite go-tos?
I mean, there was a lot,
like pizza, cannoli.
Yeah, I would say that, after a while, like there's a lot of the same stuff, and like I think to myself here, like a lot of the staples in my diet, right? And I could change it. I can go to Charlie Hong Kong's today. Tomorrow I can go get a cheeseburger there, and this and that. There is kind of that there, but like every place you go to has like kind of basically their same version of what they have there. What was kind of unique about the dinners was like it wasn't like, first of all, Italian food, like American Italian food is not the same as Italian food,
it's not.
right? The way they cook pasta, it's a little bit harder. And the sauces, I mean, they're just completely different. It's not like, you go to an Italian restaurant and you can go get like, your basic stuff here. You can't really find it. You got to look for it. And which was something that I thought was pretty interesting. A lot of the steaks were unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable, especially in where the Medici's from again? Bagel?
Florence. right?
Florence, yeah.
Yeah.
Florence.
Yeah, those
So-
Florentine steaks are incredible.
They're unbelievable.
I know you want to keep talking about food and
I do too.
Well, that's a
and-
part of the tour, though.
but-
you know,
yeah, but I want to know.
Ride to eat, right?
Yeah, I know.
I know Liza's favorite dish
wanna know-
is nachos at a conference center.
No, actually, I hate nachos, but yes. But give me a ballpark park hot dog, and I'm good.
Lord have mercy.
I want to know though, for riding, is it a heavy police? Like, what's
I didn't
the
see any
riding
police
like?
at all.
Are these pretty free roads where you get to just kind of
Yeah, they're pretty
let
free
loose
roads.
and have fun?
I don't exactly like. I still don't know if there's like their version of an autobahn, but it seems to me like everyone on the left, like if you go in the left lane, it's because you're flying. And if you're in the left lane and someone's behind you, they'll literally drive right up on you and flash their brights, or just like they'll ride so close you think they're being obnoxious, but they're just letting you know, get the fuck out of the way. You get to the right, then you get back on the left, but like you don't block the left lane, and which is kind of cool. I didn't see police.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how were the car drivers?
They
with
were
motorcycles?
aggressive. They were pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
It's those scooterists you got to watch out for.
Yeah, there's a lot of scooters. and
Bagel's like,
listen,
yep.
we didn't ride in Rome, and Rome reminded me a bit of Barcelona when I went. That it was fucking insane. I mean,
is,
like
yeah.
I remember stepping off a sidewalk and
insane.
just not getting like what's going on here. There's like a line. There's lines there. No one's in them. You know, you'd get in a taxi in Rome, and you know they would if there was an inch between a human being and like this thing, they're going for
Sounds
it.
like Times Square. I once had a
No.
taxi
No,
driver
it's
take
worse.
the
No, no, no,
sidewalk.
no, no.
I've driven
it's
in
different.
Rome.
Yeah.
I rented a car and did Europe.
I would
and stuff.
never fucking do
And
that.
I drove in Rome, and I got so pissed. I was like tearing my hair out, and then I just went, "When in Rome?" And then I started driving like an asshole too, because that inch in front of my bumper was my inch.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I went through, and it totally flipped it for me. And then I had a blast. It was
Yeah.
like bumper cars.
And then you go down roads, like you'll see the taxi like go down there, and I'd like oh my god, that's not a road. Like that's like I don't think that looks like it's a pathway.
Oh, speaking
But I'll
of
get to
which,
that.
I want to get to this because you had a car
Yeah,
and you were driving with your family.
yeah.
And so apparently there are things that may or may not be roads. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell.
Like it
Is
was
this-
built like 400 years ago for
Is
like
this
a horse and
because
carriage.
there's not a lot of signage telling you where you can and can't go?
Well, the
Or is
signs
this
are in different
because
languages.
you're American and just like, fuck it, I'm going down there?
Well, first of all, the signs are in different languages. It's something
Okay.
you got to get used to. I rented a car. It was a decent sized car. I mean, I'd always, when I go to Denmark, I'm always making fun of Marie with little small cars. I'm like, that's not a fucking pickup truck. You know what I mean? And even going there, you could see that like the infrastructure was built after, or like vehicles and stuff were built after this infrastructure was there, and we want to maintain that. So what do? We build smaller cars, Fiats,
Right.
and Fiat Pandas, and shit like that, scooters, things that are easy to get around. And even the pickup trucks are very short. They even have those funny ones you see on TV in movies. Like it's like a 3-wheeled, like a tuk-tuk, but it's like a pickup.
Yep.
And
That's
it's
Nape.
yeah, it looks like a scooter. It's just crazy.
Well,
It
so
is a scooter, basically.
Yeah.
you discovered why they have such small cars.
Yeah, so then we
Yep.
get to our place, and I'm like, oh, my wife's like, oh, you should go up there and turn around. I'm like, it looks like a one-way road, but then we see a sign that says both ways. I'm like, this is a fucking one-way road. But I'm like, whatever. I said, well, she's like, you go up to the top there and then come back around. So, and we're looking at the map. The map says go that way. This is a fucking road, you know? I get to the top of it. I'm looking for a parking space. I'm like, all right, let's just keep going. We get to this one space, and there's a bridge like expanding over like some sort of valley and then going to the other side. And I'm like, I don't think that that's the place to go. But there's nowhere else to go. We can't turn around, and like that's it. You know what I mean? And so I'm sitting there looking at her. I'm like, that's definitely not the way to go. She shows me the phone, and sure enough, the GPS says, drive the car that fucking way. So I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. And then so we come up to the bridge, and it's kind of like it's not a 90-degree turn, but it's kind of a 45-degree turn onto this bridge. So I couldn't really see how big the bridge was, but I could tell that this is not.
Is this a stone bridge, a metal bridge? Or
It's like a stone bridge.
Okay.
It was literally the width of a car, like literally the width of a car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not fucking kidding you. So I pull up, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, Marie, we can't do this. Oh, but you got to. There's cars behind you. And I'm like, fucking got to be kidding me. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to scratch the car up. I know I am. And I'm like, fuck it. So if I'm making a left turn, I'm like, if I pull as far to the wall as possible to make the left, then I won't scratch the entire side of the car, but just the front right of the bumper. Right? So then I knew that if I drove the bumper into the wall and then rode the wall to the right, it's the lesser of two evils. It's either scratch the entire side of the car, the doors, and the back bumper, trying to make this turn and then back up and scratch it more, or just ride the bumper on the wall until you cleared it. And I did. And then I'm like, fuck my Christ, man.
Well, you pay for that insurance for a reason.
And my wife's like, you got the full coverage. I'm like, you fucking damn right I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'm in this thing, right? And this thing's got like 30 fucking sensors everywhere. And this thing sounded like a nightclub going off. I'm going across the bridge, and you see the fucking dashboard, and it's just like red light beams all over the car. Like under the everywhere, you know, and I'm looking at the like if we had to stop and open the door, I couldn't open the door. There's literally an inch on the left and an inch on the right. That was it, right? So I'm like, oh my god, and the sensors are going off. My wife's screaming, the kids fucking, jet lag, and I'm going across, and I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Fuck it, I did it, just one side, no big deal. We get to the other side, we finally make it off. The sensors slow down, my fucking heart rate goes down, and then all of a sudden we're in this little mini spot where there's only one way to fucking go, and that street had to been a foot smaller than where I just came from.
So you got to go back.
And I'm looking at my wife. She's like, it says go there. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck where the fuck it says to go. We have 4-wheel drive. I'll drive up the fucking hill right now and get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And then so
this is like a modern version of Vacation. With
so
Chevy
I pulled
Chase,
to the
right?
side, and I let the fucking tuk-tuk by, and I let the Fiat by, right? And I'm like, whatever. I said, there's no way you could do that. Oh, you sure? And I'm like, Marie, you know, cut the shit. And we'll turn around. So I do like a fucking 30-point turn like in Austin Powers. I swear to God, like 2 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. And then I turn back around, and now I'm sitting there looking at the bridge again, and I'm just like,
your old friend.
I'm like, I hope this is a 2-way road on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so we come across the bridge. The fucking alarms are going off, everything. You know what I mean? And I get back to the end, and now it's a right turn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I know what to do this time. Just drive right into the wall.
Matching scratches on both
I swear to
sides.
fucking, I got pictures of it on the car. It looks it's identical on both sides. Brand new 2022 with like 5 kilometers on it. Audi something Q5 or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm
You're like James Bond, dude.
yeah, and the entire front left side bumper, the thing was like ground down to like through the bumper. But I got through, and that was it. And I said to myself, I'm like, I've replaced the bumper in a car. That's like $400. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Place the plastic bumper. We're good to go. New sensors, and it's not door panels and paint and all this shit. Just put a new bumper in, you know? So that was like the first day that she got there. And
she said,
Let's get some
the
gelato.
funny thing
hotels
was,
on the other side.
yeah,
Wait,
she's
it
like,
gets
it's
better.
it's over the bridge, Mike. You know, but so when you get and then I just remember everywhere we went, we'd be driving kind of through somewhere slowly, and people would look right at my bumper, and you could tell they were
Americans.
like, no, they were like, stay away from that guy. You know what I mean? Like, stay. That guy don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, zero fuck. They were literally matching on both sides. You know what I mean? So that was my car story.
All right, so
Better
back
ride a
to
motorcycle.
the motorcycles. So you do this amazing tour, and then
Do you want me to tell you where I went?
tell me where you went, but then I want to get to the whole point that the reason that his Layout Escapes tours are so amazing is you end up at a racetrack. And I want to hear
tell you
how
about
you
the hotels though, like because they were really really cool. Like that was kind of a part of his trip. Is the one in Corsica is called Ferriola. It was like this just beautiful place, kind of past the busier areas, and you could tell as a family owned it, and like they're very welcoming, and they make like all the food there. The wild boar on the island is like a big thing, and it was the best boar I've ever had. And then some of the other ones, they're so different, but they're really good. We were in Sardinia, this place called something blue, but it was a beautiful hotel. They had like a hot tub on the roof, and you could see like a panoramic of the Mediterranean and swimming and stuff like that. And then when we took an overnight ferry back from Sardinia to I think it's like a 6-hour ferry ride, but they take off at like 11 and they just make the ferry go slow, so you're not getting up at 4 a.m. You get up at like 6:30. And then we hopped back off in Livorno, and Livorno was another beautiful hotel. It was just stunning.
The ferries have cabins, or how?
Yeah, it was like a cruise ship.
Oh, okay.
It had like games and fucking movie theater, all the shit on it. And we hop off, and then we go straight through Tuscany, and I think we stopped at this place by Mugello Racetrack when it was like a olive oil villa. So, and like instead of a vineyard, it was like olive oil stuff. And so I did a whole walk around the entire property. Everything has those cypress trees you see in that movie Gladiator, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of looked like that. It was just stunning. And it was like, I don't know, a couple 100 years old. But your room, it's like a king when you go in there. And it's just beautiful. And the only updates really to it is like they put a bathroom in for you. But everything was like, you know, the furniture. I mean, it looked like a $1 million room. And, you know, the dinner was just fantastic. You know, the food was great, stuff like that. And then, yeah, and I think after Mugello, we just went back to Rome. And the hotel in Rome, I will say, Kat, you motherfucker, this hotel room in Rome was kind of cool. And I know why he did it, because he didn't want to put us in the center of Rome, because Rome is a fucking bitch. And then trying to get out of the center of Rome to get to this motorcycle place would have been kind of difficult. So he got us a place kind of nearby, but it's a little bit off the beaten path. Staying there for like 5 or 6 days, I probably would have went somewhere a little different for those times. Going there for a day or two and then hopping in the bike rental works really perfectly.
All right. So now the end of the trip, you get to Mugello.
Yeah.
MotoGP
almost the
racetrack,
end of the trip.
right?
Yeah.
And you guys get to do how many days on the track?
Just one this time.
One day.
Yeah, we were with DRE. It's like a Ducati racing school.
And
Ducati
so
racing experience.
You turn in the Desert X, and you have what was the bike you said you had there?
Panigale V2.
Does everyone get in Panigales?
You can get the V2 or the V4, or you can bring your own bike. It was a little different than Brno. We were in Brno for 3 days, you know, riding the track, and I was on a BMW 1000. My experience with the V2 was, I don't even want to know if I should say this over the air. It was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as impressed as you expected.
Yeah, I was, I mean, maybe because I'm like 240, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. I show you a picture of me on the bike, you're going to laugh. It's fucking hilarious.
So let me ask you this, though. You've really upped your game on the track in the last few years. Was there anyone else in the group who had some skills?
Nikita, I don't know why, but I was like in one of the slower groups. It could have been because of the hand, you know? But Nikita was pretty fast and consistent. But that experience itself was different, way different than Brno. Brno was just kind of like, go ahead, we'll follow you and then talk to you afterward, and then you follow us. Yeah. This was a lot more like kind of like hand holding. And then for some reason we were in the slower group. So a lot of there were other
groups going on at the same time.
Yeah. So you get like an armband with your color, and that's the group that you're with, and you go out with your guy. And you get some time, but what would happen would our instructor would kind of pull us to the side as we're kind of just like cruising. We'd be like getting ready for an apex, and you'd see him like pull to the side, and then like guys would boom 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 boom, and then we'd like kind of like slowly get back in, and then so like Brno, we straight up had like 20 or 25-minute sessions where we were just like ripping how we wanted to, taking the instruction, going back out. This was a little bit. It's just similar, but it was just a little bit different. And it was, for me, the experience was more like, cool, I rode the track. I've been on Mugello on a Ducati, and I know what the turns are. Yeah. Right? It was like, that's kind of...
So was everyone else on the tour comfortable on the track?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I was kind of suspicious about that going through, especially with the age. But, you know, you need to go to the track sometimes. The older guys are really fast, you know? So I didn't know if any of these guys were sleepers. But, you know, turns out one of them's like really into endurocross, knows Cody Webb in Canada, and he does all this shit. Yeah. And he seemed like he would be, and he was pretty fast.
You're starting to be one of those older guys, by the way, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't really get to ride with them. I know Brad was a guy. Brad lives in Tahoe. He was down at my house last week, watched the races with us and shit. He's older, and he's done like 9 tours with Cat or something. Wow. He's done a lot of world riding and a lot of tracks. He was fast as fuck, and he crashed his bike. It was a V4. And then he came back in, got on another bike, and went back out. And he got like some time that was like, I think like 18 seconds off of MotoGP time. Wow. Which is insane in Mugello, because Mugello has the fastest straightaway in all of the GP tracks. And I think, I'm probably wrong, but I think it was something around 212 was like the highest speed on the straightaway. I think Nikita hit up to like 180. And the fastest I was on the straightaway was like 154. But these guys, I mean, I'm big, and this bike, it's a V-twin. You know, it just, you know, and I thought for a V-twin, it would have a lot more engine braking. Like I was used to the SV650. I wouldn't even hit the brakes on turns. I would just downshift. The back would go like this, and I'd rip a turn. But on this one, you know, I don't know what the fuck it was. Maybe it was my size. I just was thinking there would be, after getting off the BMW 1000 in Brno, which scared me. I got on the V2 Panigale, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't quite the same.
Did they adjust the suspension for you?
No, but it wasn't even about the suspension.
No,
it was just like the whole kind of thing. I named for, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this.
Go ahead.
Now that you've been on 2 of his trips, would you give him a broken thumbs up?
Yeah, I would. Of course I would.
And that's not because your cast
Here,
was...
you can pass this around. You got to see this, how big I am on this
I want to
bike.
make sure people know, if anyone is interested in Leod Escapes, LEOD escapes.com. Next year, he's got Spanish Pyrenees to Aragon, Munich to Mugello, and there's also the Dolomite Strip with the Motorcycles and Misfits.
That's beautiful.
And,
beautiful ride.
Yeah, that you can go to Leod Escapes and sign up for those trips.
Can I name the cities I went to?
No, we're
Come
done.
on. It'll
We're
take
done.
me like
We're
10
done.
minutes.
Can you
No,
do
you
it in a
spend all the
song?
time talking
can do it
about...
quick.
Like a Johnny Cash song?
I could do it quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Rome, Naples, Pompeii, Amalfi Coast, Positano, Bologna, Pisa, Milan, where's the Medici's? Florence, Livorno, like pretty much most of Tuscany. Tuscany's not a place; it's like an area,
Region.
Yeah, and then like pretty much most of Corsica, most of Sardinia. Did I say Pisa?
Naples,
Yeah.
too.
Parma. I went to Parma.
Bologna.
And I went to certain places just to do, like, I went to Parma to get Parmesan cheese. I went to Bologna to get spaghetti bolognese.
Bologna.
You know what I mean?
no.
Like, I went to Pisa.
yeah,
and
like bologna.
I had
So was the
pizza.
Parmesan cheese that much better there?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I had pizza in Pisa.
How's the pizza? in
It
Pisa?
was really good.
What'd you go with?
Just
and
regular.
ham?
Just regular. Yeah, right.
They don't do pineapple there.
Yeah, the blasphemy. So,
Thank you for that ride report. And so, did you get a bill from the rental company about the car?
Yeah.
no, I called like 2 days. I was sitting in
They had
Florence.
the bumper replaced.
No, I was sitting in Florence in my hotel, like worried about it, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, "Well, I'll just call in advance." I called in advance, and I was like, "So, I got this thing pretty scratched up. What do I do?" They're like, "Oh, did you get the coverage?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "I just drop it off." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not the guy who's going to see the car. When I pull into the airport, should I go like 4 hours early to fill out paperwork and do all this shit? And he's like, no, you'll be fine. And I was like, I don't know, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I did. And the minute I got there, I went up to the guy and was like, hey, there's some shit. He's like, that's cool. Did you just leave the keys in there? I was like, are you serious? Dude, I crashed a boat in West Palm, Florida one time. And the guy I was with convinced me we should just walk away. Maybe someone won't see it. Looked like a cannonball. Came right to the side of the thing here. And I'll never forget being halfway home and getting a call and then being like, yeah, can you guys come back? And I was like, oh, what's up? And they said I was younger, right? But when we go back there and they're like pointed out to us, I was like, oh, how did that happen? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be like $1,800 to fix it. And I was like, fuck. So this time I was like, yeah, just be straight up. Like, here's what up. Let me know what to do. Let's get it sorted. Whatever.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And that was
I'm going to do the Spain
Yay.
tour
Nice.
from last
We're all going to Italy.
next year. Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Oh, wait. San Terenzo,
Oh, there's-
La Spezia.
just name all the cheeses.
the
why
Ricci.
don't
Just
you?
don't go in a car.
No,
That's
these
the
are all the
thing.
places.
Stay
This
on
was
a
the
bike.
Italian Riviera I went to also.
Awesome.
La Cinque Terre. You guys know about that place?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Did all that
Chef
shit too.
Boyardee.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
On the
We're ending this segment. You good, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you
Mike.
very much. Thank you. Because Bagel, you are going to be on deck with
All
your
right.
thing. Because first I want to get to Kim, who's here, who has, as we said, some special skills
Stuff.
and fields of
Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah.
And we're bringing these together, right?
We are, as a matter of fact.
So you are a sex
Sexuality specialist.
Why do you look like Elvis right now when you're doing all this? Yeah.
I was hoping she was going to say like a wrestler.
trying to find the
Because
right
Liza
word.
looked like she's about to wrestle. her.
And you are a motorcyclist.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to play a little game. Bagel, listen up because you're playing with us.
Okay, this is good.
We're going to take advantage of having this skilled professional here.
Watch out for puns, guy. Everybody,
dirty
watch out for
job.
puns.
No, this is easy. And so you're. Do you often mix the two things you love, the motorcycle and sex, together?
I do actually. I have a Honda Shadow 750 Aero, 2004 with 102,000 miles. It dropped an engine in at 72, and it's still been great. And it's all painted with sex toys, and the license plate is Big Vibe.
Oh, there you go.
And
Nice.
I also have a vibrator built into the seat.
Oh, yay.
Oh, okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's called the Vibrator, and it's meant for the passenger seat.
And
like,
she invites people to sit on it
And
that
then-
don't know what it's all
Don't
Right.
distract the driver.
because the
It's
I
not just
know.
throttle control.
It is. It is after it's
RPM
on.
fluctuation.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. But the it's got a toggle switch that's on my left, so I can put it on when everything's perfect.
Well,
so I'll get people to sit on it, and they're so captivated, and I'll have somebody take a picture in the front, and I'll be like, "Wait a second." And then I'll hit it. It's my 750 joke buzzer, and it really gets them jumping, and I get them every time with that.
so you are also, because you mix the two, there are quite often times that somebody will use a motorcycle as a prop and create new sex positions, we'll say.
Absolutely,
But they need a name.
they do.
So we're going to flip this
What, the
around.
positions?
We're going to flip this
Yeah.
around. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to help her name some positions on the bike.
Right.
And so here's how it's going to work. We are going to give her what we think is a good name, and then she's going to tell us what that position may look like if somebody wanted to try it out. Okay?
I like it.
And keep in mind there are different styles of motorcycles, as we know. So just kind of like there's different styles of sex. So
Exactly. So I'm going to start this out, and then we'll go around the room. I just thought a good name might be the Alternator Rectumfrier.
that would be when you turn around and your butthole is kind of almost covering the speedometer and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And you can feel it, when you throttle up. Yeah, so
Oh.
it'll clear it out that way.
Oh, so that's something you can do solo?
That would be a solo.
Oh.
That you turn around and you've got to be
A
really
solo.
tricky on how
Was
to
it the
use your
rectum fire?
rear end.
Rectifier,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Rectum fire.
Alternator and Rectumfrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Switch it from
Yeah.
AC to
An
DC.
alternator, because we are inclusive here. So if you live an an alternator lifestyle, you can do this as well.
So are these going to be things in pairs or solo or all of the above?
well, that's the beauty,
maybe even more than-
of sexual
okay,
positions.
okay,
A lot of
okay.
times you can do by
All
yourself.
right. Anyone else have one ready? A name?
Twisted Forks, high side.
Twisted Forks High
Oh,
Side.
that's a good one. Yeah, that would be two women together on a bike for sure. One takes the high side, one takes, and then in the middle they're forking. So
This is the best game we've ever played.
And I will ask you what kind of bike for each of these positions might be the most suitable for this.
Well, I am partial to cruisers because it fits my nice fat ass.
Comfy
perfectly.
seats.
They're
Seats
very
matter.
comfy. Yeah, I mean,
I got
those
one.
dual sports with those seats that if I had balls, they'd be crushed on them. I'm not into them.
Yeah,
that
but
much.
some bikes have a long bench seat, like a
Right.
Brat or
Exactly.
or like a Ducati Scrambler has a long flat seat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I got one.
Oh wait, Kelly raised his hand. All right,
Okay.
Kelly, what's
All right.
the name of this position?
It's an old school dirt bike term, but a flying W.
Oh,
That's when you have, one person's facing forward and the other person is facing towards you. So this is a little tricky on a bike, but you can do it because as long as your feet can control everything else like this.
Well,
right.
if you're a
they
man
have-
on the bottom, you have to have a long wiener for that one.
Well, maybe, but
Mike
see,
talks from
your
experience.
legs will make like a W with the other legs that are going over it.
I imagine this on a
So-
Sportster
That's the riding W. To the
Probably.
flyer, you have to hit a speed bump doing
Yeah,
70.
Exactly.
because you need that tank,
You're-
slope tank. to-
Then you're inverted.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
Slide you
flapping.
down.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay.
get it
And
up.
you could just kind of throttle.
Just
Ah,
that's
you
all
hit
you
the
need to
throttle.
do.
Okay, good. the flying
Yeah,
W.
rocket
Yeah,
cock,
that
you know.
works.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Mike,
fine.
what you got?
Whole shot device.
Whole shot device.
The MotoGP thing.
A
whole
shot device. That, let's see.
Is it like a position or a tool?
It's
That's like those pills Mike
be a
gets in the
toy.
mail now that he's 40.
Yeah, they're called hymns.
You know what? I actually have a whole shot device with
Wait,
me.
what?
That
Oh, the bag's
That
opening.
can
Wait,
be- right, and this can actually be used on a motorcycle.
I volunteer Kelly.
I'm sure you do.
I think it's a tool.
So
Did she bring a bag of things?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my.
So this is a whole shot device.
Oh my.
There we have
She
it.
knows about us.
Well,
So this is going to take care of any hole, and it's a whole shot.
Very
device.
realistic. I mean, not the up and down part, but
yeah,
It-
there
It's
we go.
yeah, it is realistic.
All right.
It's going to need some anti-seize.
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's
It
rechargeable,
moves.
too. Yeah,
Okay.
so you've got to know what you're doing, or else you.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Give
you're
us a
gonna poke
warning
someone in
next
the
time you
eye.
pull something like
I
that.
could take out an eye.
I got two more.
I know. I always have a bag of tricks with
So
me.
that is the whole shot.
You got a bag of
device.
cocks
and,
right
and,
now.
And where does that mount on the motorcycle?
Well, let's see. I would say probably like right in the center. So, although, you know what, this is funny because the anatomy when you're sitting down, and that was a thing with the vibrator. All right, and this is all seriousness. I have a vibrator that's built into the seat. They've made it for the passenger seat, right? Of course, it's invented by guys. Nothing against that, guys. But it's like sometimes they need a little bit of an anatomy lesson to like realize where everything is. So they make the vibrator, and it's for the passenger seat. Get her on, get her off. Haha. Right? So it's like, so it's a bullet
Marketing
vibe.
gold.
Yeah, it's a bullet vibe. And like I say, it's toggle switch and it is hooked up to the throttle. So I'm like, guys, if you put this on the back seat, it's going to vibrate her asshole, okay? This isn't going to do like the magic triangle clitoral area. You have to make kind of a riser for it. So, and they're looking at me like I'm talking to them in Chinese or something like, what? I'm like, trust me. So that's why I like it on
Did
my
she say
seat.
clitoral light riser, Mike?
Yeah, it's clitoral something. See, typical guy answer, clitoral. What?
The riser? They have risers?
It's a riser. Well, no, like you think of the saddle, right? You know, it comes up at a perfect angle, right? So
All right.
that's why it's in my seat. I get the perfect spot, and that's it. And like somebody said to me one time, they go, "This is the bitch seat." I'm like, "It sure is." So yeah, so I have the vibrator in my seat, hooked up to it with the throttle, and I'm gonna, send.
All right.
Okay, so tell me.
Carla,
Yes.
do you have a name?
No, I'm way too shy for that. You know that.
You don't want to name something?
No, I don't know. I gotta think.
Let her.
You're
let
too
her
shy. You're
be
sitting
the
next to a woman with like a
I-
12-inch
I'm
long black
overwhelmed.
dildo that goes up and
I know.
down like a pogo stick.
I know, and we rode all over the place today. So, oh my gosh.
Did, but there was no vibrator in the seat, so
There
I had to
wasn't.
make do.
Oh,
right, well,
with
you-
the
you think on the-
vibrator connected to the throttle, have you inadvertently gotten a speeding ticket?
I'll tell you something.
There's some whiskey throttle going on.
John, you got one?
I already gave one.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I have another one.
All right, let's hear it.
The shift shaft.
Oh, okay. So I know what that is. Is you so those Packers, so they make a lot of hollow
Yeah.
dildos and things like that. So you can actually fit them over the shifter. So you can put like a little rubber one on there, and that would be a shaft shifter. Like right there. In fact, on the Big Vibe, I actually there's a whole bunch of pictures there. It's all painted with sex toys. What I put over the handlebar, you know, at the on the grips, is they have these stretchy extenders. And so I've gotten the stretchy extenders, and then out of the tips of them, you know, the little kids' bicycles, the streamers. So I've put white streamers in them. So it's got like penis. Like, that's only when it sits there, and then the white streamers come.
You got another one, Mike?
Ends of them.
Oh, I see. It's like semen coming out.
Good. Thank you.
That's funny.
You got one, Mike?
I got two.
All right, let's hear
I
it.
got the Honda gasket maker and the throttle rocker.
Oh, a throttle rocker. Well, we
throttle
all know
rocker.
that's,
I think that's the name of a toy.
it's a throttle. Isn't that a throttle rocker? Is
The position. What position
But I'm
is a
thinking,
throttle
yeah,
rocker?
I think that might be a Evolve toy or Zero Tolerance toy. A throttle rocker. Let's see, what would that be? Well, they have these pads It's called the Lust. I think it's the Lust line. But anyway, it's a silicone pad about this big, and it has 2 strong vibrators in it. So it's for kind of, women to kind of sit on and have a really good time with. So I think you could replace that on the seat, much like the vibrator, but, you could throttle rock that way. It's still in the seat without having to rewire everything with the vibrator.
So all of this is reminding me.
I thought heated grips were bomb.
This is reminding me of. Do you remember the Moto Bandito sex toy toolkit? Do you know about this?
It sounds a little familiar.
So here's a commercial for this. If you don't mind, I'll play this. Let's see.
I'll do the soundtrack.
Let's see.
Have you ever wanted to mix the 2 things you love the most? Your motorcycle and sex? Do you find it hard to mix your riding life and your sex life?
Always.
Have you ever wanted to have sex with your bike or include it in your sex play?
Every night.
Well, now you can. Introducing the Moto Bandito Motosexual 2-in-1 tool and toy bag. It's everything you need for a roadside breakdown or get down. This amazing dual-purpose package comes in a handy tank bag for use on the road and off. Accessories include dildo-shaped hand grips, exhaust-tip fleshlight attachment, seat-mounted strap-on dildo ergonomically crafted to improve your riding posture, fringe vinyl catsuit tracksuit, helmet strap ball gag, nipple clamp jumper cables, dual-purpose silicone chain lube, replacement gasket cock rings, tire plug urethral sounds, emergency coolant enema kit, a fleece-lined gimp mask to help keep you warm in the winter, and our intro to anal breakdown flare kit. Order now and we'll throw in our patented butt plug screwdriver with interchangeable heads and bits. And for you off-road enthusiasts who've been bad boys, do we have a treat for you? A spanking paddle tire. Go to MotoBandito.com. That's Moto BANDIDO. And don't forget to get off the bike before you get off on the bike.
I sell at least 3/4 of those things they mentioned.
Where do you sell them?
That's it. That's it. Well, I started my sex toy store in 1993 before the internet. Before the internet, in Brookline, Massachusetts, next to Boston, when I left my job at Harvard to sell rubber dicks to girls, which is true.
Brookline.
That's going to be the title of the book, too. And so that's when I started.
I used to live at Coolidge Corner.
That's where my store was, in the arcade building.
I used to live in Kimore Square.
And there we go. See that? It's all
from
coming
like
around.
87 to 93.
Yeah. So the name of the store, which I love, but it's 95 when this thing called the internet came out. I'm like, well, I better get the name of the store, and it's called Grand Opening.
Nice.
So it's at grandopening.com now. Yeah. So I sold the store in December 2005 and moved to California because, like I say, I have an addiction I have to deal with. It's called motorcycle riding.
There it is.
It is because you cannot ride year round in Boston, nor would you want to.
Well, no, some of us have.
I just, given the choice.
Yeah.
So I live
Do
in
you
Southern
really
California
want
now.
to?
No,
Exactly.
And Carla, I wanted to catch up with you. It's been a while. Have you done any big trips or adventures, or you just been hunkering down?
Hunkering down mostly. Yeah. Talking to my friends. I want Kim to write a book or 2.
I know I have to.
This is something I wanted to mention because I don't know how much we talked about it before. Because there are not enough books about motorcycle journeys out there.
Oh my gosh, I have 3 shelves full at home because everyone sends them.
But we
to me.
always need another, right?
We always need another.
And
it's true.
you happen to teach people how to write.
I do teach people how to write. A memoir is
you don't have to be a motorcyclist, but
but it's a great way to see the world. You've just ridden around Italy and you've had all these personal experiences and these crazy things that happened, right? With a motorcycle, it's easy with a motorcycle ride and travel memoir because the plot just moves right along because you're on the motorcycle and it moves right along. But it really, a memoir isn't, memoir needs a disaster.
I think Mikey fits that bill.
Yeah. It needs,
Sure do, each trip.
or at least a mental hurdle to overcome. Like
Can I just
Please.
My disaster was in storms on the horizon, because if my cast got wet, I would have to rush to a hospital and get it cut off,
right.
because I had the metal rods going through.
Oh, no.
Which would mean that as soon as it got wet, it could get infected into the bone.
Oh.
So it was and luckily we were like dodging it, and then we'd see like lightning coming down and just like black skies right there, and we're like going that way, and then right before it, turn the road this way. And it was like a kind of reoccurring thing. It was Corsica, Sardinia, not so much, but on the mainland, like we were definitely like, and at some point I told Kat, I was like, hey, look, I mean, you might have to throw this thing in the van, and it was, there's no room. I was like, well, we gotta give it I don't give a fuck. I said, you know, but anyway.
See, I'm thinking metal rods and thunderstorms.
That's
and like,
what I was thinking. Not
know?
wet, but
No, like, hey.
electrocuted. Well, and that's great. You know, I struggle with my own because I did American Borders, and it was sort of a motorcycle travelogue, right? And I'm still trying to finish my China Road Motorcycle Diaries, and I've written a lot about my China trips, and they're in anthologies, they're on my website, they're in magazines and stuff. But you know, really digging deep into the soul of the trip and how it's changed you and affected you, and how it relates to others is the important takeaway. Other people need to want to read it.
Right.
Because they need to learn a life lesson from your experience.
How do people find out more? How did people take a class? Because you did this online, right?
Yeah, I mean, COVID, I started this crazy, you know, it's like, okay, all the travel writers are grounded, so raise your hand if you want to be a travel writer, or if you want to trade stories, and we'll do a travel writing group.
Yeah.
And like the first meeting, 73 people showed up on Zoom. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
You know who's in her class?
No.
Michelle Lamphere.
Michelle
Oh, is that
Lamphere, yeah, the
right?
butterfly room.
Yes.
Yeah, so
She
she's
can tell
doing
a
a lot of
story.
writing. She can definitely tell a story.
But you help people in
do.
telling a story, how to write. How do people find out more about this?
Well, I have a website called destinationpublished.com. Right. And I also teach people how to self-publish, and also how to craft essays and articles for magazines, which is a little kind of warm up to the whole book. Right. And you can see my stories and my books on carlaking.com, which is more my author website. But Destination Published, I help people with the craft. I'm working with the Nonfiction Authors Association this year. I've really I joined the team there as VP of Business Development, actually.
Ooh.
And I teach a lot of courses there, and it's a high class place. You know, it really they really do a great job serving nonfiction authors, not only of memoir but of business, psychology, technology. You know, anybody who needs
Can
to
I
write
ask
a
you a
book.
question?
Please.
So like I would say I'm a visual person, right? Mm-hmm. And then my wife says I talk a lot, but I don't say much. You know,
Uh-oh.
it's like a common thing. But like in my defense, like I'm always picturing what I'm saying when I'm talking, and I think it's really good with me with my business because I'm able to kind of describe complicated things in a way that people can like swallow, right? But like so in writing and stuff like that. Like what's like, is there like a common, like, could you meet someone and be like, oh, they're probably a writer based on the way they are? Or, you know what I mean? Like, would somebody who's visual, you know, not do stuff like that? Like, what's the kind of person, you know, what kind of traits are you know, good for a person who you'd be like, you should write because you're this way?
Well, you're a good storyteller, and you just told a bunch of really great stories. And whether you are more comfortable dictating them with something like, you know, Dragon Naturally Speaking, or if you're a speed typist, it doesn't matter. If you can get it down on the page, yeah.
She could tell you how to put a story in print without saying, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, could you tell me where I could find out how to?
Every story starts with, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Well, that's for the editor. I mean, you can, when you get that first draft out, because you have to get that first draft out, and the first draft is never good. But I always say, get the whole thing out. Don't edit when you're writing. That's the most important thing. Don't go, nobody's going to want to know about this. Nobody's going to want to know about the rain or the road conditions, or, you know, my left thumb aching or whatever. Put every little sensation in. If you can think about all 5 senses and what were you going through in your mind, or worrying about if your wife is going to make the plane, or, you know, whatever, just stick it in there, because it's a lot easier to edit things out than it is to put them back in later.
You know, maybe you're onto something. Maybe you do start every chapter with, let me tell you something.
Yeah. Did you hear?
Yeah.
What
Because that just draws them in.
Hey, did you hear about the one?
It's your tagline. It's
But,
better
like,
than don't look at me when.
I do a lot of typing, and I remember I found a workaround in school to like not have to do the typing class, and I really regret it. And I sit for hours. I literally was typing the other day for 4.5 hours, and it was probably like 6 paragraphs. Maybe.
And your index fingers got sore,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm like really good with my workaround, but like I know that I should have been in the QWERTY, right, and just like doing all this shit. But I'm just like,
My dad used to chicken peck so hard on the keyboard you could hear it downstairs.
that's how I am on the space bar.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Tack.
No,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
encourage
You know what I
you before you get too much older. I think you're probably the youngest person in the room here. I don't know, maybe, but I just
Thanks for asking
take
me, though. I do appreciate that.
like, okay, is John.
I take offense at that.
And, but use the there's an online teaching thing where the keys light up and it beeps at you or something. Do it. Just do it.
I don't know. I think you have to have a lady in a pencil skirt and a ruler yelling at you. That's how I learned.
That, yeah.
That's how I learned too. Yeah.
I can do that.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Bagel has a story to share with us.
I do.
That he tried to tell on a show while I was gone, but there was such bad internet connection, and I was hooked. Bagel, I was hooked, and I want to hear this. And I have a little bit a teaser to it because, Jim and I, like I said yesterday, we were up at Moto Talbot Museum that is full of beautiful and amazing bikes, each one with a story. And you'll notice, here's a rack of 3 bikes. Right at the bottom, there's a beautiful Triumph. In the middle is a Sax Racer. And out the top, Carly, do you know what kind of bike that is at the top?
The one that you step
Looks
through.
like a scooter.
I know it's not a Briton.
It's a step through.
That's it.
Is it
Is it a Chinese scooter? It looks like
It
one
isn't.
that my
It
friend
is
has.
the most popular motorcycle in the world.
Is it a
It's a
motorcycle?
Honda.
It's a Honda
The
Cub.
nicest
Cub.
people.
They've been making these
know.
bikes for decades, and they are all over the world.
Somebody did. I don't know if it was around the world, but or did Russia and Europe and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen people
on
driving
a
these.
Honda Cub,
So
or just this incredible trip on that.
you would
bike.
think a bike that
Right.
is like the most mass-produced bike in the world wouldn't be very collectible, but they are when this is in new condition. But the reason that they're all over the world and the most common motorcycle in the world is because it is one of the best bikes ever made. So Bagel is going to tell us all about it.
Nice.
Yep. I am here to talk about the venerable Honda Cub, whose history now stretches back as far as 70 years ago.
Yes.
And I want to tell you all about it because I have recently been getting into these bikes, and I would like to share a lot of what I have been learning about these.
Bagel, remind me, when we did, is it a motorcycle or is it a scooter? Did we end up giving this one to you in the trade?
We did assign this one to the scooter category
Yes, we
in the
did.
end.
Okay.
It's a scooter.
but I would argue that this actually transcends everything because, as you said, this is the most produced vehicle of all time, more than any other vehicle of any kind. I mean, well, I don't know about bicycles. Well, there's probably not one bicycle manufacturer that produced as many as Honda produced of the Honda Cub. So this is probably more than any vehicle. Any particular
we're
vehicle of
talking
any kind.
globally. They really
Globally,
stopped
yes.
bringing them. Well, actually, no, you can get it now. They did bring it back here in the States.
They
You
are
can get a
still
brand new
making
one.
Honda Cubs in
Yeah.
2022
with ABS.
and
Yeah.
yes, and the I could not find the actual production figure for where they are currently, but as of 5 years ago, the Honda Cub production figure worldwide surpassed 100 million vehicles.
I wonder how it compares to the quarter pounder.
Probably
Little heavier.
not. They're probably more quarter pounders sold, but yeah, the Cubs may outweigh them. So first I want to talk about how this all started. I said this went back to 1952.
Yeah.
Now, The actual Honda Cub debuted in 1958, which is 64 years ago. But this started as the brainchild of Honda's lead engineer, Takeo Fujisawa, for essentially an everyman bike, which was, and this was in the mid-50s, where he was thinking about what is the product that is going to sell really, really well, that's going to get people moving and on transportation and serve them reliably and be a commercial success. So so these were things that he was thinking about in the mid-50s. And in 1956, he took a trip to Europe with Soichiro Honda when Honda was racing in several of the European motorcycle championships, including the Isle of Man TT. And while Soichiro Honda was wholly focused on the racing, his engineer Takeo Fujisawa was focused on the engineering of bikes, and he was there to see what he could learn about European bikes of that era. And he was particularly impressed and inspired by the German mopeds of the 1950s, because these were very small but very high performance and simple bikes. And the gears started turning in his head to produce something similar but better and more responsive to not only the Japanese market, but something that would be universally accepted around the world. And he got to work as soon as they got back that same year in 1956 on designing and starting this whole project to design this new bike. He, in his discussions with Soichiro Honda, he was so convinced about this that they built the entire Suzuka factory specifically for this bike.
Wow.
And they decided to take for the motor. They took the Honda Cub F, which was a bicycle motor, essentially a clip-on motor that you would just install onto a bicycle to be able to power yourself around. Which they had sold from 1952 to 1954. Now, this was a 50cc 1 horsepower motor, which was a popular success at the time, which was just because of the demands and the needs for something very simple and cheap to get around on. But quickly, it became outdated, and they stopped production after 2 years. But what Honda decided was, if they could improve this motor and take it from 1 horsepower to 4 horsepower, that would be enough to power a small motorcycle around to serve people just for general transportation. And that became the goal for what they wanted to do with this project. And like I said, they introduced this, the first model of the Honda Cub, which actually was called the Super Cub, I should say, to distinguish it from the bicycle motor, which was the Honda Cub. That was introduced in 1958 in Japan, and then in 1959 in the U.S. And as I believe you had mentioned earlier, there was a campaign that was called "You Meet the Nicest People on a Honda," and this was the bike that was the basis for that campaign, because this was a very small bike that anybody could ride, and it was infinitely useful for just everyday purposes. And Honda specifically designed that campaign to be a counterpoint to what had kind of become the dominant narrative about motorcycles at the time, which was sort of this bad boy outlaw idea, which had come about in the 1950s, mid 1950s, and really had taken root by the late 50s, early 60s in this country. And so instead of this sort of scofflaw image, Honda was portraying that these small bikes can be ridden by everyday nice people just like you. And sure enough, that sold a ton of bikes. And in fact, the Honda Cub was one of the best-selling, was the best-selling bike that they had in the beginning, because the early Dream and Bentley models that Honda brought into the U.S. When they introduced the U.S. market in 1959, apparently those early models had a lot of engine problems, so a lot of them had to be shipped back to Japan. So the only models that the U.S. dealers had on the floor were the Honda Cub. So. Wow. So that's all they had to sell. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the characteristics of this bike and what the factors were that they wanted to take into consideration that made it what it was. Now, first off, Honda gave their design team two general guidelines for designing the bike. One, create things that fit in the hand, and two, create things that are easy to operate. Now, these are very broad goals, but they wanted to make sure that those things were always kept in mind with everything that they did in designing this bike. In addition to that, Soichiro Honda himself gave two requirements for the engine. Number one, he wanted the engine to be a 4-stroke because he felt this was cleaner and quieter than the typical 2-stroke motor of the time. And he, in all of his experience in Europe, convinced him that the 2-stroke was not the way to go because of how loud it was, how smoky it was, how much tinkering it required. And he thought that the 4-stroke was a much superior technology to use for which he wanted to use in his bike. And the second requirement is he wanted the engine to have at least 4 horsepower to be able to move people around more efficiently than their previous 1 horsepower that they got at the 50 cc. Now, the really interesting thing that I learned about this was, do you know what diameter spark plugs are typically in modern motorcycle engines?
No.
11 millimeter.
No, like 9/16, aren't they?
10 millimeter, I think, is what they
that's
are.
close.
Yeah. Do you know what the first bike was that took a 10 millimeter spark plug?
Honda Cub.
A Crider.
Honda Cub.
Yeah.
I know. It
Because
was either that or a Crosley.
right, because in order to increase the horsepower of their 50cc motor from 1 horsepower to 4 horsepower plus, they needed bigger valves. And they couldn't make the valves bigger with the standard, 1/2-inch spark plug that was typical of the time. Mm-hmm. So Honda worked with NGK to develop a 10 millimeter spark plug that would fit in a smaller hole in the head that they could put bigger valves in. And that was how Honda developed 4.5 horsepower out of their first 50cc Honda Cub motor, or Super Cub motor, I should say.
Yeah.
So those were the guidelines that Soichiro Honda himself had dictated for the engine. Beyond that, just in generally, they wanted the bike to be simple to ride, simple to maintain, and simple to repair, so that it would be accessible to anyone. And part of that was also the semi-automatic clutch that was developed. And this is something I want to go into in more detail at the end here, because this is really the one part more than any part of this bike that I think sets it apart from everything else, and really led to the success that it had. So it really, I want to reserve its own section to talk just about that.
Hey, Bagel, I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but talking about horsepower, you talk like 1 and 4 horsepower. What did like Lambretta scooters of the day? What kind of power were they making?
Well, if you're talking about in the late 50s, I would say that the Lambrettas of the time probably put out about 6 or 7 horsepower. So they were quite a bit faster, but in terms of what you get out of a 50cc engine, 4.5 is pretty impressive, because like I said, their first 50cc motor only had 1 horsepower, and they wanted to bump that up to over 4, and they managed to find simple but effective ways to do that, which was part of what made the Cub so successful, because not only was it powerful for its size, it was also really, really efficient. So it was great on gas.
And is that the same horsepower that they have now? Oh, like what's the difference between?
That was a 50cc. Now they're bigger displacements.
Yeah,
it's bigger.
And I'll talk about the evolution as well.
Good. Keep going. I want to hear more, Uncle Bagel. I love stories like this.
Yes. So please listen to what else we have to tell about this bike. So one of the things that set the Honda Cub apart was that it had larger wheels than most scooters back in that day. And this was this was intentionally designed that way so that the bike would perform well both on paved roads and on rough roads, because there were a lot of unpaved and rough roads after World War II. So these larger 17-inch wheels would allow the bike to handle any terrain fairly capably, But they were not so big that it made the bike difficult to ride for smaller riders. Now, this is something that Soichiro Hondo had noticed when on his trip to Europe, because most mopeds back in those days had wheels that were 19 inches to 26 inches, more like bicycle wheels. Now, the drawback of that is it makes the bike much taller, so shorter people have a harder time riding it. And in Japan after World War II, because in the post-war conditions, nutrition was really difficult to come by. There were a lot of people who were much shorter in those days, so they needed to take that into consideration. That shorter people needed a bike that they could ride that would fit them. And the genius behind that is that because it made it capable for shorter people to ride that bike, that meant it would fit anyone around the world, and was one of the factors that made that bike really, really successful. Another thing that was really integral to the design was the step-through configuration, which you noted earlier about the bike in Moto Talbot, because one of the main groups that Honda marketed this bike towards was women in the 60s. In fact, they took out full 2-page full-color ads in magazines, in women's magazines, in Japan, in the U.S., all around the world, to market this bike as something that was very simple, easy, and effective to ride. And it proved to be extremely popular.
And Bagel, I remember when I got my first tour at Atlas Honda in Pakistan, and they were talking about how they're making such a great effort to try and create women riders in Pakistan. But that they needed to come up with a step-through design, and they were looking at licensing this, because this style isn't in Pakistan. And I'm surprised they haven't brought it in yet. But this answers that, for especially in a culture like Pakistan, where it's unpopular for women to spread their legs, even just to get onto a motorcycle.
And these would be the ideal bikes for that market. Exactly. Yep. And so some of the other characteristics that went into the design were obviously a low displacement engine, but they also wanted it to be a high RPM engine, so that it would be run quite efficiently. But at the same time, it also needed to be low compression so that it was easy to kick over. So there are a lot of different factors that needed to be taken into consideration. It also needed to have a rugged frame to be able to withstand rough terrain when it needed to ride over that. It also needed to use quality mass production techniques, because Honda had every intention of making this because like I said, this is supposed to be an everyman vehicle. This is a bike they wanted to sell around the world, and they needed to produce a lot of them. And one of the other requirements that Soichiro Honda had kind of informally made for this bike was he wanted it to be capable to be ridden while carrying a tray of soba noodles, and for delivery riders in Japan. And if you have not seen what this looks like, it's not just a bunch of cups of noodles on a tray. This is like carrying a tower of cups of noodles on a tray on your shoulder, on your left shoulder, as you're riding along on your bicycle with your right. And this was the way that they delivered noodles in Japan back in the 50s. And so the thought that Soichiro Honda had was, if we can sell this bike to noodle shops, we are set. I don't know how many noodle shops there are in Japan, but every single one is going to want one of these bikes.
Good marketing.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention too is that the Honda Cub was in fact, I think was the first motorcycle to use plastic body panels. Because they used plastic, just straight up injected molded plastic, for the leg shield and the front fender and the side covers. And this was done to not only reduce the cost of manufacturing with stamped steel, but also reduce the weight so that the bike would be that much more efficient. And then, so these were all the factors that went into the original design. But then, of course, as the years went on, this bike gained in popularity and production increased more and more. They developed it further and further. And I also want to get into a lot of the variations that developed out of this. But for across the whole ranges that they produced, They introduced other innovations like a dual range transmission for the Trail series, which I think was introduced first in 1960. They introduced overhead cam engines in 1965. The Honda Cub motor in all of its variations was available in either the semi-automatic transmission or a manual transmission. I don't think the Cub was ever offered with manual, but other variants did have manual transmissions, and that had 3 or 4 speeds as well.
Hold on, Bagel. Jim, remember when we were at Peterson Auto Museum?
Yes.
There was one on display that had the full touring package. Do you remember this?
Oh,
had a big windshield, and it had, I think it had like some leather, like aprons or something. It had it was amazing that this little bike, you get a full touring package. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, there's no shortage of accessories for these too.
So, and what were the engine sizes?
Oh, well, I'm going to get into that in just a minute as we go through the models. But some of the other innovations that were also added later on were CDI ignition, fuel injection, and electric start eventually. So I want to talk about the different permutations of the Honda Cub. And there are several different product lines that Honda came out with that are all derivatives of the Honda Cub. So there's about 5 or 6 of these. So I want to go through each one of these in a little bit. First, obviously, is the Super Cub line that we've been talking about so far, and that started with their 50cc. Also, I want to mention that there were some trademark conflicts about the Super Cub name. In the USA, they could not use the Super Cub name for this bike because the Piper Super Cub airplane already had been on the market since 1949. So because this is a different vehicle, even though it's a road-going vehicle rather than an air vehicle, Honda really couldn't call it the Super Cub. So that's why in the U.S. market, they were called Honda 50s, Honda 90s, and so on. Also in the U.K., the Triumph Tiger Cub motorcycle was a similar enough name that Honda decided we're not going to mess with that and risk a trademark lawsuit, and did similar naming conventions in that market as well. So for the Super Cub, they offered this bike in a variety of different engine sizes, and they started out with 50cc, as I mentioned, in 1958, and in fact all the way back to 1952, going back 70 years, with the Honda Cub F bicycle with clip-on engine. But they offered the 50cc in 1958 as what they called the C100. Then they came out with the C102 in 1960, which had electric.
Big bump.
Yeah, had electric 50cc with electric start, a battery, and coil ignition. So they were moving up, little steps. But then they came out with other variants of the C50 later on in 1966, which had the overhead cam engine. That also was the basis later for the CM91, which was a more conventionally styled bike, but used the same engine bumped out to 90 cc's. Honda also produced a moped version of the Honda Cub for the Benelux market, which is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, which has functional pedals that you could pedal it like a bicycle because they have tax advantages for mopeds in those countries.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm looking at the MB50.
Yeah.
But they came out with the C50 really only lasted until the late 60s, but they did come out with a couple of retro models later on in 2007 and 2018. They came out with a 3-speed and 4-speed. But of course, those 50cc models were not enough power for a lot of markets around the world. So Honda decided that they needed to bump up engine sizes. The first bump that they did was in 1965 when they came out with, which actually was their first overhead cam engine with a C65, which also was the basis for the CM90. Then later in 1969, they bumped up the Super Cub to 70 cc's, which became the C70. And then later on in 1981, they started calling that the Passport in the United States, which is probably what a lot of our listeners are familiar with, the Honda C70 Passport, which is one that I have in the back of my shop right over there. Honda also came out with a 90cc version of the Cub in 1963, which was first called the C200. 1967, they renamed it to the C90, and that continued on for many years. They also came out with a 100cc version for the Asian market in 1986, which was called the EX5 or the Dream, which was a four-speed manual shift version of the Cub. They also came out with 110cc versions, I think also for the Asian market in 2009 and 2011. And then, of course, in 2018, they came out with the Super Cub 125, which has been talked about quite a bit in the last few years. So those are the models that have come out throughout the history of the Super Cub itself. But there were several variants, like I mentioned, off of the Super Cub line. The first one was the Trail series, and a lot of you probably know these from like the Trail CT110. But this started out as a 50cc version of the Cub that was meant for off-road riding, and I think the very first versions were created by a dealer in Idaho who took the Honda 50 and put knobby tires on it and did a couple of other little modifications to help make it more capable for off-road riding. And Honda got wind of this, what this dealer was doing, because they were selling bikes like hotcakes. And so Honda wanted to know, what's your secret? What are you doing to sell all these bikes? And they said, well, we're just putting these other tires on them and this and that. And Honda said, we want to make a bike like that. So that's how they came out with their Trail series. And this became really, really popular for people who wanted to go, hunting, fishing, going camping. And it became a whole, there was a cult following behind these bikes that came out in the 50s, 60s.
They had the folding handlebars, yeah? Or was
some
that
of
the
them
CTs?
did, yeah. They had some of them had folding handlebars, so you could put it in the back of your truck, and carry it with you. Sure. They came out with 50 cc's at first, then it bumped up to 55, and then in '68 they came out with the dual range 3-speed transmission. And that dual range transmission was really important for climbing up the steeper inclines. If you're going off roading for more adventurous stuff. And then in '64 they bumped it up to a 90cc for the Trail 90. Then the Trail 90 got the dual range transmission in 1966. Then in 1980 they came out with the 110. Which is the Trail 110 that most of us know. And then, of course, in 2021 was the Hunter Cub CT 125. There also was a Sports Cub line that was made for a few years in the 1960s that I don't think a lot of people know about. This was a bike that was based on the same platform as the Super Cub, but it had a conventional motorcycle tank in the normal position. And this was a manual transmission bike that was designed to be a little bit more sporty. And they were sold, I think, from 1960 through 67, 68, something like that. And those were made first to 50 cc's. Actually, I think they may have only been 50 cc bikes. But a little known variant of the Cub. Then, of course, there are the mini bikes that Honda made, starting in 1961 with the Honda Monkey Bike.
Bagel, I think we need to save all the mini bikes for another one.
Do you think so?
I do.
Okay. Well, what about the Honda Auto Clutch? Because I really would like to talk about that too. Should that be its own episode?
Yeah, I think we need to wrap this up and save it for another one. There's so much here.
Okay, then let's talk about the mini bikes on their own episode.
Yeah, let's do that.
And the Auto Clutch as well.
I wanted to add something. Jim and I were just looking up.
Yeah.
The new Honda Cub, like I found one here locally for sale. It's a 2019 that for some reason has only 26 miles and has never been registered. They're asking $5,900. Jim, how much is the list price on a brand new one?
Well, if you want to go high hog with the C125 with ABS, it'll cost you $3,700.
Somebody's trying to sell one for $5,900. Is this because there's
get it?
Yes, there's such a market for them.
Because you probably can't find a new one,
which is crazy. Just how popular they are.
I see some dudes just did the Trans-American Trail on a pair of them. Yeah, people are doing all
I mean,
sorts
it
of
is
crazy
amazing
stuff.
how popular these bikes
We
are.
saw a monkey bike out yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but the 70cc Atlas Honda engines in Pakistan, aren't those derivative from the Honda Cub engines?
I mean, all the 70 cc's.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the vertical cylinders sticking right out in front, just like them. So
It's one of the most popular engines. Well, can we wrap up there and then
Wait,
do mini bikes for
end it
another?
there.
Carla's got a good tidbit, which is
What you
pretty
got, Carla?
exciting.
When did Honda put the seat vibrator on? When did the bullet vibrator go on the Cub?
I hadn't
That's
met
an
Kim
aftermarket
yet.
item.
Exactly.
No, I'm trying to remember if my first bike I rode was the Honda C90 or the Yamaha HT1. And they're kind of the same size, right? And I only have a photo, like this vague photo of it.
Well, I used to ride a Passport in high school. One of my friends had one, and I would cut school and go just ride in the Oakland Hills. And that little bike would get me all over. Like, that was freedom.
Did you meet the nicest people?
The
I met
nicest.
the nicest people. I was just
The
looking at the
nicest.
John Travolta commercial for the nicest people ad. If you look at Honda
Really?
Nicest People on YouTube with John Travolta, you can see a whole ad. I think that was his
wow.
first gig. He was super young.
That's funny.
Super young.
So yeah, Bagel, let's save the
Nice.
mini bikes because those are all offshoots. I mean, there's
Okay.
the Cub is the most popular bike in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's so well designed, and the fact that it's still around is amazing. So
Yeah, and the fact that they found so many different variations of it that they could make for different applications, just proves that it's solid engineering, solid design, and it proved itself,
Well, thank
around
you.
the world.
that was a
That was awesome.
that was a Bagel's history hole.
I love
It was a
it.
bagel hole.
A bagel hole.
And I have to ask, what's
A
the
bagel
bike?
mini hole.
That's it. What's the bike with the red fender that's right next to you?
That is my 1982 CT70 that I picked up a couple weeks ago.
That's his foray. Bagel's a scooterist. That's his foray into motorcycles.
Yes, exactly. It's
Because
nice
I like
and
small
gentle.
bikes, so that's what drew me
My
in.
first
mean-
bike was a CL175.
Oh, nice.
That was great.
Very cool.
A 73.
And you see the Honda Groms everywhere here now.
The Groms are awesome.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Honda's still
I'm
killing.
looking at this John Travolta commercial.
It's crazy.
It's
Isn't it?
worth
So-
a look.
So cute.
I
Brilliant.
have a question, Mike. Did you see any of these Cubs in Italy?
You know what? It's really hard to say because there's so many small bikes and
Yeah.
scooters, and like there's definitely motorcycles. I was expecting to see a lot more motorcycles in Italy,
Yeah.
but it's very much scooters and mopeds and things like that. So I mean,
wonder if they couldn't
I'm
get-
sure I probably saw like a bunch of them.
I wonder if they couldn't get into that market though, because Vespa.
I
mean,
is
there's-
so.
Oh no!
Well,
they
it's
were
not just
they were in
that.
that market too.
Okay.
It's not the only
Oh,
thing you
sure.
see there too. I mean, another thing I was surprised about was like I thought there'd be like 46 everywhere
Yeah.
in Rossi, right? But like it's kind of it's not the case. And the same thing with the scooters. I have so many to see that like you just kind of like scooter. You just don't even look anymore because it's
Right.
not like there's a lot.
So Kelly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So you listen to our show back
Yes.
home.
Oh, yeah.
What's it like being in the room?
Oh, it's
Is it just like
spending the whole-
stereo?
spending the whole day down here is a blast.
Yeah. You
It's
had fun.
Oh yeah. Had fun. Tried to get in and help where I could. And,
You did. You jumped right in. You know the routine.
oh yeah.
There was some work going on today.
This is my third time to the garage. I think second time on the podcast. Third or fourth time to the garage itself.
Yeah.
Just when I'm usually in the area to visit family, but I always try to make sure that like I tell family don't schedule anything for me on Sunday because Sunday's booked and I can I can see family the rest of
That's
the week.
cool.
But
Well, I appreciate you coming down, and if anyone else is in
We
the
like
area,
visitors.
come on down. We like visitors. We'll put you to work.
Bring
oh
donuts.
yeah, it's a good time.
Got the
Nice.
tools.
Well, and Kim, next time I hope you'll come and spend more time like
I
Kelly
hope
does.
so.
We'll
I
put
hope
you to
I
work too.
Right up next
No,
time.
we got to
yeah.
keep an eye on her
Absolutely,
though,
yeah.
that she's not
I do.
installing any extra
I know.
components on
I
bikes.
was going to ask about the classic chrome butt clapper, but I didn't have a chance.
I'll send you one.
Save that one. Save that one.
Oh, now we're gonna have to come up with a
You
name
can
for
you can do a
this.
Sure,
product
guys.
review on
Some
it.
more.
My mother listens to this show.
Oh
Stop
my!
Oh. Well, hey,
Behave yourself.
and Carla's here, so this is going to be a big hit on this show.
Wow.
Oh,
We're expecting big numbers, Carla.
Okay, but no pressure here.
one more announcement I forgot to mention. In the past week, somehow we surpassed 3 million downloads.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Congratulations. As we approach 500.
We all did it, but it's like, it's just crazy. It just keeps going. I think Kelly's a bunch of those right there.
I was shocked how the numbers went off the chart when you were gone.
I know, it is true.
Right. Hey, how about sharing everybody's social media handles? Because I heard, everybody's on IG and this and that.
Yeah, I'm too old for that. But do share yours. How can people find out more about you?
There we go. Sure. It's all major, podcast platforms for Sex Chat with Kim Ayers and all social media at Kim Ayers. And then TikTok's the only one. It's the Kim Ayers. That's another.
Is this safe for work?
No.
Okay.
No. No. I mean, just it's
Volume down, please.
Volume
I heard
down.
her on the microphone.
funny props. But yeah, so it's good stuff. Then email kimayersexchat@gmail.com.
You did not just give out your email.
I did because that's my public one. So that's good.
Send bike pics.
And I know next week, Jim, you're going to the
Naked
desert,
ones.
a new desert.
Yeah, I'll do. If anybody in Southern California, since Mike doesn't like dirt bikes anymore.
My hand's broken, man.
No, just kidding.
Only
I just
racist
miss you.
now.
It hurts. I love having you camping. No, I'm going to be down in an area called Alabama Hills, which is south of Bishop, eastern Sierras, and it's next to the northern part of Death Valley National Park. So I'm going to be down there most of the week next week. If anyone's bored and wants to come out and help me not die, come on out. But it should be beautiful. Carla and I were talking about it. She's been in that area.
Find the hot springs.
And
Find the hot
I'm going
springs.
to throw some out. Maybe, Carla, you'll want to come with me. Next Saturday, Gilroy Power Sports is going to be doing Royal Enfield test rides.
I love Enfields. You know how I love Enfields.
So I kind of want to just go ride them all.
Yeah.
So I'm going
Ride
to go
'em
do
all.
that.
Get
Ride
the
'em all.
And
Himalayan.
there's a new model, though.
The Interceptor's awesome.
There's a new model that I
Really?
want to check out. Yeah. That looks pretty cool. I guess it's based off of the Himalayan. I'm not
Really?
sure. Anyway,
Yeah. It's
a
I may be
thumper.
making
It's the
things up.
Himalayan
No. They were
Heimlich
talking
maneuver.
about it last year at IMS.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to be
so
going
it's out
Gilroy
now.
Power
Yeah.
Sports. Maybe, John, you want to come? Or are you working?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe.
go ride some
No
bikes.
commitment.
So this is the part of the show where I tell everyone thank you. Thank you for the listeners who have who donate to our Patreon and allow us to do things like give bikes away to girls in Pakistan. Thank you to the listeners who are driving our numbers up. We appreciate it. Keep sharing. I'm going to give some asks that send us emails. We want to help you. Send us emails. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know what you want to hear. Also, if you haven't yet, please give us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to it so that it helps more people find us. Uh-oh.
Batteries
Oh, you got to plug that computer in, son.
I thought I did.
On that note, we better get out of here. Thank you, everyone. Go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. You'll find everything there. I still got some shirts for sale. Yeah, I've been sending some out. And don't forget, December... Oh, you're messing it up there. There you go.
No, we're
Don't forget, December 3rd, and you can come to our party. I think we're ready to go. Thanks, everyone. This is Liza.
Make it Jim.
Stumpy John.
Carla King.
Kim Ayers.
Kelly.
Mike.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.